Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Geek Room. My name's Justin, also known as TK Storm. It's been a little while since we did a live review, so I thought we got this amazing Overlord of Evil from Mondo today and thought we would open it together. So let's get into it. Obviously, box is big. You can see that it doesn't really fit on the stage very well, but we're not trying to keep him in the box all that long anyway. So give me a second here. Let me get the old bag off of the box. We'll talk a little bit about the box. It's the artwork I think is a little stylized. You guys can decide if you like that style or not. It looks good, regardless, I guess. On the bottom, you get some of your legalese. Not clearing up very good, but that's all right. Nobody really cares about it. On this side over here, we got our Masters of the Universe logo. Same on the other side. You can see Masters, and you get your little 112 logo. And ultimately on the back, we get Skeletor, Overlord of Evil, with a death blow from the Havoc staff. Lord Skeletor shattered the Mystic Wall, unleashing the forces of evil from the Dark Hemisphere. Now the Lord of Destruction marches on Castle Grayskull, leading his evil warriors against He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. A battle for all of Eternia. And as you guys can see there, we've got the Mondo 112 He-Man. We'll keep him around because where Skeletor's at, He-Man's not too far. It'll also be helpful for some comparisons. In the meantime, let me get the tray out of the box and we'll talk about that. It's a big box for these guys for a 112. I do not have any other 1/6, but I assume it's because they're using the same size box for their 1/6. But you can see here in the tray we have our stand and our holder. We have our extra hands. We have the Havoc staff. We have an extra head, and we have the figure. Nobody cares about the case. I mean the tray. Give me a second, and we will get our little Lord of Evil here out of the box, and we will talk about it. Again, stand, pretty basic. I don't use them. In fact, on He-Man, I just put it right back in the box. It is good quality. You get it in the position you want, and it's not going to go anywhere. So there is that, I suppose. And we got some hands here. It honestly doesn't come with a whole lot, so once we get going here, it'll be relatively easy to manage through. A lot of the paper, I mean the plastic rather, is kind of staticky, if you will, to the stuff, so it's not a bad thing. Just trying to get it all off, and then we'll talk about it as we unwrap it. So, all right, we'll set that to the side. All right, so we have a total. Get that stand out of the way. We got some extra hands here. We got some C-cup hand, right hand, painted nails, nice sculpt. Same C-cup hand, left side, painted nails, nice sculpt. And we have fists, painted nail, thumbs, all you can see on the fist. They are also nice sculpt though. So we got the extra hands. We have an extra head sculpt, fanged head sculpt. It's pretty evil looking. We have let's get here around, bear with me a second. Static is getting the better of me on this plastic. We have one said Havoc staff, very pointy bottom, it will hurt you. Good quality, good weight. It's not bendy. I mean, it's got flex to it, but it's definitely not gummy. And a nice solid devil's goat head there. Looks really good. And we have one wicked cool power sword. Goes together to form one sword. Mess around with that later, I suppose. Or maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Oh, I don't know. We'll look at it. That's how it was when I was a kid. And we have some nice soft goods here. What is this soft goods bag? It is, of course, one very evil cloak for our Lord of Darkness. So, I'm going to set that aside for a second. We'll open that up and mess around with it here in a minute. And then the big. It's probably worth saying that this is not the timed edition. This is the standard edition. By the time that I elected to get into this line, the timed editions for He-Man and Skeletor were gone. I do have all of the timed editions for the others. I'm not attempting to get Clawful. Maybe if they do a regular release, but I do not care enough about the character to pay $500 for Clawful. So we're not going to. Okay, so if you look here, just trying, we got all this plastic on here, so we're gonna do some quick limb recovery to get the plastic off of him. These things come very well protected in the case. Like I don't, or in the tray. I don't know what they're protecting it from, but I'm glad they do it because that means you're not gonna show up with a bunch of paint problems. This other, yeah, so this one we can probably maybe just kind of pull through either the top or the bottom. Looks like it's gonna go off the top pretty relatively easy. Maybe it's kind of a pain, but again, your figure will be well protected in the case, or in the tray rather, while it's on its way to you. Nothing piss a collector off more than getting a brand new figure covered in scratches. So, out of the box, there is our Skeletor. I'm gonna scoot He-Man over here a little bit so we got a little bit more room to play around here. He also has his shoulder pads that I had taken off right as I picked him up. So let's just talk a little bit about articulation before we get started. Obviously the head works really well. You don't get a whole lot of look up on these guys. You get good look down. They are very clean right out of the box. No real need for heat. Get a pretty good movement there. There are no butterflies, but you still get the way the sculpt is. You still get really good range of movement. Single jointed pinless elbows, but again, because of the way the sculpt is, you get really good bend out of that. Looks nice. One thing that you see in this figure that you don't in a lot of other of the imports and stuff right now is the shoulders aren't real super gappy, right? Everything lines up pretty good is the way it should. So like when he's at an eased position, it looks normal, and then when you put him in a little bit of a pose, you get a little bit of a gap, but like not much. So waist, right? Leans forward, leans back a bit. These guys do not have drop down hips and they do not have swivel thighs, but you do get pretty good. You get pretty much 90-degree range out of those legs. The overlay is nice and supple, so you can get it out of the way as you're moving around pretty good. and it looks pretty decent. Again, single jointed, pinless knees, but they do get good range. That might actually be a double joint in the knee. Yeah, it is. It's a double joint in the knee. A single in the arms. On the boots, get a little bit of a rocker there. There is not a swivel, shin swivel, boot swivel, anything like that. Aesthetics. Let's talk about aesthetics a little bit. Let him stand there on his own while we talk. Put his dress right. He doesn't like being called dress wear, but whatever. He looks very nice, right? I mean, that's 2000X to the T. Looks very good. Hey, Bobby, just saw you joined in. Just never got one of those yet. Already collected too many. I hear too many toys. Hey, I hear you, man. I purged a lot to get in my head that I was gonna give this a go. So, all right. So it looks really good. There's not a lot of wash or anything, but you can clearly see based on the way the sculpt is, the definition is there. The gauntlets are looking really detailed. Let's get in here a little bit, and you can see there's a nice wash on the gauntlets, make those skulls stand out. Tons of detail in that belt, especially look at the back of it. Get the little dragon spine there with the bones going around. All of that sculpted. I mean, you're not getting that out of any other 112 line, that's for sure. Not in that level of detail and in clarity. So it's looking really good. And then we got the leg armor. Again, bones, all the detail, very well painted, multiple paint colors on everything. Cannot complain about the aesthetic of a Mondo figure, in my opinion. Shoulder plates, again, same thing. We got the typical cross guard on the front of there with the red ruby. These are all individual. It's not just like a big long line of plastic. That's for the Havoc staff to go on his back or his sword to go on his back. So that looks really good. We're going to pop it on there real quick. Give me just a second. They use basic plugins. See if I can get that on camera. It is not a little dumbbell looking thing. It just plugs in. There's one side and there's the other. It is not a hard plug. My guess is if you took this on and off a lot, it would probably wear out. But like Mondos aren't really meant to be played with by kids. They're an adult collectible that looks amazing. Look at that. That is 2000X, baby. All right. So he comes with these clawed hands. We talked about the fist and the C cups. He comes with these nice clawed hands. He is not holding the Havoc staff with a clawed hand, though. He is going to hold the Havoc staff with a C grip. This plastic on these hands is pretty. It's firm, but again, it's supple enough to easily open up to get on here. Get that gauntlet back on there. Plug the hand back in. I will say on Skeletor, like I don't know if you guys watched the He-Man review, I was having a little bit of a problem with his hands coming out pretty easily, and that does not seem to be a problem with Skeletor. His stuff is his hands are going in and staying in. So, so you can see he comes with the more classic green skull, but then we also have a more antique weathered skull that you could swap out on a head sculpt with. I think I'll pass on that. I like the more classic green look. Let's talk about these swords for a second, because yeah, they connect together. So that's actually pretty cool. The concept of the OG Power Sword, where He-Man and Skeletor swords went together, but obviously that is not the classic Power Sword, nor is that for that matter. It's all right. It looks fantastic, and let's see, you know, right there on his back, pretty simple. So there we go. we have Mondo 112 2000X Skeletor with Havoc Staff and merged sword on the back. We have our extra parts, but how does he look compared to some other options? Well, my other favorite Skeletor, not quite the comparison. That is the Origins, Mattel Origins cartoon, Funimation cartoon Skeletor. Obviously, considerably shorter and a whole hell of a lot less detail. Oh, we got there. Oh, okay. And something more classic or current. We have from the Chronicles movie line, we have Trapjaw. You can see Trapjaw is maybe a half inch or so. Like, I know the spacing there's a little weird. Trapjaw is probably about a half inch shorter than Skeletor, which makes sense because the Mondo stuff is about 7 inch, supposed to be about 7 inches. Arguably, maybe even 1/10 scale, not 1/12 scale, even though it says 1/12, unless they're monstrous hero characters, right? So maybe they are 1/12 and they're just big. So Chronicles is a little smaller than Mondo 112. Clearly, the Origins is about 2.5 to 3 inches, about 2.5 inches probably shorter, which makes sense. Those are 5.5 inch figures, so about 2 inches probably shorter. They're all cool, but these Mondos are what we're here to talk about. So we're gonna get Cartoon Boy and Movie Boy out of the way there. Some extra parts. And just compare these guys, man. Side by side, they are fantastic. I've probably spent hours with that He-Man figure in hand, different poses, different weapons out, weapons in, just messing around with him. Lots of fun. Again, both of them are not the standard editions, not the timed editions. I've not really missed it. I don't have the stands, right? I don't have some of the old heads, whatever, but it doesn't really bother me. I've enjoyed it for what he is, and I'm sure I'm going to get as much or more enjoyment out of the Skeletor. I did pick up the Keldor from SDCC. Hasn't got here yet. I don't know if I made I think the number was the first 2,500, got him shipped reasonably quick, and then after that it was probably going to be a January delivery. We're a couple weeks past SDC and I've not seen any movement, so my guess is I'm probably not going to get him until January. But I am excited to get that Keldor in. We also have Man at Arms coming here in the next couple of months. We have Tila Orko 2-pack coming in the next couple of months. I did not pre-order the Anti-Eternia He-Man BBTS exclusive. However, I am considering going to Motu Fest in September, and I did hear that they're going to have them on hand there for 115. So I'm thinking about maybe picking one up there. And then again, there ain't no way I'm paying $500 for Clawful. I don't ever. I just don't care that much about that particular character, and I'm not a completionist to that degree. We also know we saw on display at SDCC, we saw a 112 Merman, that timed edition that was beautiful. I cannot wait to get that figure, be able to pre-order that figure, and then get him. And then, of course, during the panel, we saw the announcement of 112 Trapjaw. Trapjaw is hands down my favorite Motu villain. Always has been, probably closely followed by Beastman, but Trapjaw is the man. Trapjaw and Soundwave were just awesome villains to me when I was a kid. Kind of those number twos, or at least in my mind, they were the number twos for Transformers and Masters of the Universe. So looking forward to getting a nice Mondo Trapjaw. That Trapjaw, that 1/6 Trapjaw, almost got me to buy Mondo 1/6 scale stuff. I'm glad I held off. These 112s are much more up my speed. I really hope that Mondo decides to do the Thundercats that they have done in 1/6 and transition that to 112 as well. I hope the sales are doing well enough and they recognize that people would buy the hell out of that. So we shall see. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. I highly recommend these Mondo figures. Yes, they are expensive. They are premium. They are not meant to really go with the, Mattel or your GI Joes or anything. I mean, they're these are premium figures and they're meant to designed to be in a premium area. So I have a shelf specifically for these guys. But yeah, I highly recommend that if you can comfortably afford premium figures and you want something a little more than just Origins or Chronicles, or maybe you've got a large Masterverse collection already, like these guys are really cool. I'm not a big 2000X fan myself. I was a classic animation fan, but 2000X was fun, was cool, and these designs do really well for these kind of figures. So that is all I got for you today. I really appreciate you. On Saturday at 5 Central, 6 Eastern, me and the rest of the Geek Room gang will be doing our first crossover with Chris from Mod Extra across the Great Lake in England. We're looking forward to having that conversation. We're going to be talking about a number of things kind of related to SDCC, and kind of our wishes of what we kind of hope to see in the rest of the year. Hope to see you guys there. If not, Replay Squad's much appreciated. Bobby, I appreciate you hopping on for this conversation today, and we will see the rest of you guys when we see you. Thanks, and have a great time.